I'm Alissa Simon, Senior Programmer at the Palm Springs Film Festival, and I'm happy to be able to talk to the writer, director, and producer of Quo Vadis, Aida, Jasmila Zbanic. The film, which is Bosnia's submission for Best International Feature, was recently named to a 15-film shortlist of contenders. This is Jasmila's fifth feature. Her feature debut, Grabovica, won the top prize at the Berlin Film Festival in 2006. Like Quo Vadis, Aida, it was based on events that happened during the Balkan Wars, and the issues that it dealt with ended up changing the country's laws. Indeed, Jasmila has been granted the 2014 Kairos Prize, which honors European artists whose work is judged to have a major cultural and social impact. So welcome, Jasmila, and congratulations about the shortlist.
Thank you so much. We are, when I say we, I think all team is really happy about it.
So first off, explain the title.
The most difficult question to start with. No, I wanted to talk about this events, but not, just to show what happened there. But for me, what was fascinating is what was after these events. I met a lot of mothers of Srebrenica who returned to the city where perpetrators still live. And I was obsessed with this fact of return, that you are going back to the places which are hard and which will, maybe not be good for you, but you still go there because you believe in humanity, and there is no other way for humanity than this one. Of course, there is a biblical story which explains this return, but I thought Aida as a woman, as somebody who is not saint but human being, should carry this story on.
I know that you've been wanting to make a film about the Srebrenica massacre for a really long time. Can you talk about why this is an important story for all Bosnians and indeed the whole world?
Look, I was 17 when war started in Bosnia. I was living in Sarajevo, and for me, there were a lot of surprising moments. You first of all don't believe that war will ever happen, and one morning you wake up and some crazy people are doing crazy stuff, and you think this will stop very soon. Then, the war started, we realized, okay, it is a war. Then we had UN protecting us and giving us some kind of feeling of security. And what happened in July 95 was that UN just betrayed people. The safe area, which was Srebrenica at that time, was just given to Serbian army. So violence won over institution which is uniting us all. All United Nations were a joke, and this joke finished in a genocide where more than 8,000 men were killed. So these things were, for me, they stayed in me as a shock, as a trauma, and I always wanted to talk about it. But for many years, I thought I'm not able to go into such hard subject. After finishing 4 films, I felt as a directress, okay, now I'm ready to dig and to see if I'm able to communicate this story with others.
And you do it so well. Why did you ultimately decide to tell the story through the lens of Aida?
I had a lot of tryouts and failures in writing the script. First I thought I want to make a political film because, more like a political thriller, because it's very interesting what was happening in that moment between Srebrenica, New York, Den Haag, Netherlands. It was something which is hidden from us, ordinary citizens. But then I felt I really want audience to feel for people there to understand how is it to be affected by these political decisions. And I decided to go to the ground, to the citizens of Srebrenica. And Aida was, for me, a character that was between, as a Bosnian, you know, she was among Bosnians and having the same destiny like Bosnians, but also she was in this other world of United Nations, translating negotiations. So she was able to show, through her character, I was able to show both of these worlds that were having, you know, clash at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Did you encounter obstacles in making the film?
Look, Srebrenica is still very, very difficult political subject because it's denied by Serbian governments. Part of Bosnia government consists also of Serbian political parties that are denying that Srebrenica happened. Also in Serbia, we have a lot of you know, powers who are trying to deny. They invest a lot of money and lobbying that genocide never happened. Mayor of Srebrenica is also denying that genocide happened. So there were, you know, every elections we had a clash of false facts, alternative truths about what happened. And what was proved, luckily, International Tribunal in Den Haag proved with thousands of documents of, you know, that Srebrenica was genocide, then there were war criminals who were doing it. But in the moment when I was making a film, and still today, war criminals are celebrated as heroes. And, you know, this is very toxic surrounding I had to deal with while making a film.
Because you shot on site, right? You shot in Srebrenica?
Unfortunately, we couldn't shoot in Srebrenica, but we filmed in the south of Bosnia. We just went one day to Srebrenica to film exteriors, you know, without permission, just yeah, like guerrilla, but this is how it was. But you know, there were certain issues like having tanks, because Bosnia is not a film nation. We don't have this film industry, so the tanks we had to use from military, and in order to get them, you have to get permission from the presidency of Bosnia, which was, you know, which consists also of Serbians, so people who denied the genocide happened. So it was a lot of struggle and fight to get even vehicles, you know. And for other stuff like this military vehicles, we took 2 from police, and then we were painting them in white. They were representing UN, and next day we were painting them in green. So they were Serbian vehicles, and with 2 vehicles we had to show all this army and stuff that was going on there.
That's incredible. Please talk about the character of Aida and the actress that plays the role.
Jasna Đuričić is amazing actress. She's from Serbia, and she used to play in one of my films before, so I knew her work. And she's amazing theater actress as well. So when we started casting, Damir Ibrahimović, producer of the film, and me, we immediately said, this is Jasna. So we didn't make much of the cast. I mean, we didn't make any casting for this role.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily she accepted to be to play in a movie, though it was very dangerous for her to do it, because at the moment when film is shown now, you know, in the Serbian press, she's called a traitor, together with Boris Isaković, who plays Ratko Mladić. And it's, but you know, when I talk to Jasna and I say, Jasna and Boris, and I say how brave you are, they always say, it's not bravery, it's just our work. We are actors and we should do our work. They are just 2 amazing professionals and wonderful people.
Yeah, because I recognized a lot of the actors from other films in the region, and even the Bosnian actor Hazibegovic is playing a Serb. So
Yes. For me, this
so
is, you know, nationality, because we all look the same, we talk the same language. And for me, this nationality is just some virtual stuff. I never understood it, not during the war, not today. So I don't care about it. For me, this territory is still one place culturally, because we speak same language, and who wouldn't want to have choices of wonderful actors and not
yeah.
limit yourself with your nationality. So this is never a question for me. In all my films, I really like to work with people from the region.
Yeah, no, everybody plays so well, and Amir was just chilling when he comes through the base to talk with the guns.
I mean,
Did you do
Emir was playing a Serbian guy, and when he comes in this place, because we had a lot of extras who were affected by the war, and we had situation where one of extras, or two women actually, had almost nervous breakdown, because seeing him with weapons triggered something in their trauma. They were kids when they were in a concentration camp in Bosnia, and suddenly they knew this is Emir. They knew it's an actor. They knew they are in the film, but they were crying so much. We had to call emergency to give them something to, you know, to calm them down.
Oh, wow. Did you do a lot of rehearsals before the shooting?
I was really lucky that actors dedicate a lot of time for, you know, preparing the film. We met several times to do reading rehearsals while I was making the script. So I was writing the script. And this was very helpful for me, because I would, you know, film that. And then I was able to really feel the rhythm, where are the problems. I was able to discuss with them. So everybody was talking from their perspective about the script. And that helped me to make new version, which was more, which had more elements of truth. And after we, when we were already on locations, we went through a whole film in continuity, because our shooting plan was upside down. We couldn't shoot in continuity because we had so many actors from Netherlands, from Belgium, from Serbia, from everywhere. And they were just known and busy actors. So they would give us just their free dates. And then we had to make a schedule around that. It was really complicated. So we knew, okay, we can't shoot in continuity. So we better rehearse. And really, it was very helpful for actors and for me and for camera woman Christine Meyer, because we were able to follow the, you know, the rhythm and also the energy of the scenes and the emotional truth, which scene is, you know, from where it comes from, the emotion, and where it goes. So this was very crucial for us. Also, we did rehearsals with family. They were kind of living in this apartment that was their apartment in the film. And we did a lot of improvisation of couple, Aida and her husband, meeting each other for the first time. So everything which is not in the film, which is before the film starts, in order for them to have this feeling that they are family. So we would play that two boys are babies, then they are going to school, first day of school, then first girlfriends. So we went through all of that, had a lot of fun with this. But when actors were in their roles, they had this emotional memory of the family. So this was also, I'm very grateful that we had this time for the rehearsals.
I think that worked really well. I mean, you can even feel that backstory in the early scenes where she and her husband are at the club, and she's in that beauty contest. You feel this whole world and affection and all the friends and the family. It's definitely there in the scenes. So you were saying some of the extras were from Srebrenica. Did they have advice for you about how things really were when you were shooting?
So extras were not exactly from Srebrenica, but from this local place where we were filming. But they were also affected by the war in a different ways. So they were, first of all, they were very helpful, bringing their own experience in the whole thing. We had situations where extras would tell us how to do certain stuff. Like we had this scene where men are climbing the truck, and I told them how to do it, but one man told me that's not the way they took us, and I was like, oh gosh. So I asked him, please tell me how it was, and he said no, they were asking us to put hands behind and then to put head down when we enter the truck. And I said, of course, we will do it the way you remember it. So this was very emotional, but for extras, it was going through the same things. But on the other hand, they were also telling us they were happy that these things were shot, because otherwise they are forgotten and nobody makes a film about it, and they wanted to be in it.
How did you choreograph those chaotic crowd scenes? When I was watching it again, it was just amazing to me when so many people are coming like a tidal wave. How many times did you have to rehearse that, and how did you get them to go in the directions that you wanted while it seemed like total chaos?
Yeah, so of course, everybody from whoever was in the film, all extras, they knew footage of how it was in Srebrenica, because there were scenes when shot by UN soldiers, when people were climbing down from the tracks in this chaos of arriving to Dutch base. So people knew what was going on. And then we were lucky to have, for these scenes, 2 cameras, and, really putting people in that kind of situation and explaining them what to do. We didn't have to repeat many times. They were very authentic.
Yeah, it feels authentic. It's totally frightening. Some of the scenes, in particular, the one where Aida joins the other women and looking at the exhumed remains, reminds me of one of your short films, The Red Rubber Boots. Do you feel like there's a lot of documentary in this film? In your film?
Most, yeah, I mean, this Red Rubber Boots about mothers searching for 2 kids and mass grave, it was definitely, this experience was helping me to understand Aida's pain after what happened and to stage these scenes, because I was, when I did Red Rubber Boots, I was at many digging of mass graves, of identifying bodies. I knew how people were behaving, how women were watching and recognizing. So, having this documentary experience, making this documentary, was helping me to direct and understand these scenes. When we shot this identification, Aida coming and recognizing the body, actually the clothes of her sons, we decided together with Jasna not to tell her where are the bones, where we will place her sons. So she was really entering the scene, having these thoughts which mother had. I hope I will not find them. Maybe they are alive. And also I hope I will find them to bury them and to, close this painful journey of not knowing where are your sons.
Yeah.
So Jasna entered in that scene and she was really searching for bodies. And when she recognized, she said she was so shocked that she couldn't breathe. And we shot this scene. And after that, I said, okay, let's repeat, let's have it as a coverage. You can't leave the whole thing with one shot. You have to make few just in case. But we started and we all felt, Jasna and then camera woman and me, I mean, that's it. We had it. We will never be able to repeat it. And that was it. That was really the one shot.
Yeah, it's very, very affecting. And the film's also so tense. Can you talk about building that tension into the script and how you worked with your editor?
Yes, so writing the script, I had a really amazing book under UN flag by a translator, Hassan Uhanovic, who had similar kind of situation. And he, in his book, but also he told me a lot about this, the necessity to act and to try to save your family. So this this tension was there from beginning. I knew I have to deal with this tension. We had editing assistant of Jaroslav Kaminski was editing while we were making the film. So we were able to check certain things. We, especially what I mentioned before, we didn't have continuity. So we really had to check if we are keeping the right rhythm. Is it going well in the emotional sense? And when Jaroslav watched the rough cut, because he visited us twice, he watched it and he said, look, we have one thing where Aida is always running. Please shoot a few scenes where she's calm. And this is, for example, yes, for example, this was never in the script, but, good editor noticed that we have to change the rhythm in order to be able to go on, otherwise everything would be flat. Yeah. So then we made this new planning of extra shooting, not extra shooting day, but of day where we had to do this, few scenes where they are more calm and just sitting and contemplating, and then we use them.
Oh, that's interesting. How has the film been received in Bosnia?
So we had very strange Corona premiere. After Venice, which Venice was just amazing because we had a chance to be with real audience.
Yeah.
We were really lucky with that. And then we came to Bosnia and we wanted to make similar kind of situation like in Venice, where we would measure temperature, have a distance. But at that moment, the numbers in Bosnia were really bad, so we couldn't do proper premiere. And the maximum people were 100 in a cinema, and we have at least 200 people who worked with us and 500 extras, and so we thought, okay, the real premiere we have to leave for after Corona, but we did the premiere with young people. We didn't want to invite any politicians, any VIPs, because for me VIPs are young people who were born after Srebrenica. And they have nothing to do with what happened, either if they are, if their ancestors were perpetrators or if they're coming from victims. I really wanted to give this energy with the film that they have to emancipate. They should know what happened. They should be aware. They should not deny facts and what happened, but they are not guilty or they are not victims because of what happened. They should be free, because I noticed the tendency of our politicians to put guilt on young people or victimization on young people. And I think that makes them in a kind of jail. And for me, this was very important. And because of this kind of premiere, politicians couldn't use the film for good or bad. We somehow get rid of it. Of course, there were some right-wing media who were telling certain stuff against the film, but many people in Serbia really appreciated and really watched the film as an act of going further, going over these things, and we received really good reactions. Of course, the official government is trying still to deny stuff, but even that, I feel there is a change that people have to confess what happened. They have to see what happened.
So are young people taught about Srebrenica, young Bosnian people taught about Srebrenica in school?
No, not even in cities where majority Muslim Bosniak live. That is not part of school curriculum, because there is a tendency very much sponsored by European Union and international community not to talk about this. Like, it's too fresh, it's too political, let's not talk about it, which I think it's a big mistake, because then people learn about this through media, and it's mostly very it was shown in very spectacular, always a way of dividing people. If you learn stuff from media, then it's not the proper, rational way to see stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope that everybody gets to see the film and gets another perspective on it. Has the UN had anything to say about the film?
We are trying now to get in touch with them, because it would be, I think, good for all of us that a film is screened at UN. Absolutely. Because film is not against UN. It's, I really think UN as an institution is needed maybe even more than ever. And I'm not sure if with this political constellations, if UN didn't exist, would we be able to establish such organization with these politicians? So I really appreciate UN, but at the same time, there were many mistakes in UN bureaucratic system, and many mistakes were done because of huge political influence that was which had nothing to do with human rights and proper protection of people. Very often UN was acting as a puppet of certain political interests. So I think we need to talk about it in order to improve our institutions.
Yeah, I can remember one year in Rotterdam seeing a documentary by Hedy Honigman about some of the Dutch that served in during that time, and how that affected them psychologically. There were lots and lots of suicides, and the film is about what's a song to listen to help you. I have to find that for you. It's an interesting film. The company that you have with your husband, Damir Deblokada, if I'm saying it right, has also produced the films of other filmmakers, including some that we've shown in Palm Springs, such as Men Don't Cry. What was it like to put together such a big international co-production with 8 other countries?
Look, I mean, co-production for Bosnia, because it's a very small country and quite poor country, is something that we have to do. We are missing, because we don't have industry, people are not working all the time as professionals in film business. So there are many professions that are missing, and we need to go to other countries to get, just to establish the crew, for example. So to have co-production for us is necessity and very, very natural thing to do. But of course, you know, with other films, we had 3 or 4 countries, and this time we had 8 plus 1, so 9 countries involved.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, you know, when you write an email, you know, you need to wait for answer of 9 people, and then, you know, one person says, oh, can we change one line in the contract? And then you have to do it all over again and again. So it's quite work, but the film would never be possible without this kind of work. And, you know, this is not a film that private investors wanted to invest in. So luckily we have film funds in Europe who thought, okay, this is very important for European history. This is very important for future of us. So they find the film as their own and they finance it.
What's happening in terms of American distribution for the film? Or are you at liberty to say?
No, the thing is that we still don't have distributor. I hope it will come. I understand that when you talk about a film, it sounds very heavy, and for people to have this kind of film during Corona or after Corona, I understand the distributors are cautious. But on the other hand, whoever sees the film finds other values in the film, and that's why we are talking to distributors, hoping to get one soon.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure it will happen. And what's next for you as a filmmaker?
I have several things that I'm researching and that I'm doing. One is documentary film about Bosnian entrepreneur who was working in a socialism. And it's a very interesting to compare what was happening, because he was genius. He came from concentration camp. He was Jewish, and he came from concentration camp and built one of the biggest companies of Bosnia and Europe. It was really amazing. And today, when we are in a crisis of capitalism, I wanted to examine how he, as a socialist, built something which was very, very successful. And, you know, from this distance, from this generation, to be able to look at it critically, you know, with all pluses and minuses, because I think we live in time where we have to invent new ways of producing and new ways of doing stuff. So this is interesting. But of course, most of the people that I have to interview are very, very old. So I don't want to put them in risk, and you know, so we are waiting for vaccines or something else in order to do this. And I'm reading now a lot of US scripts, because for the first time I have agent. Before I thought I, you know, want to do my own stuff. But now I feel I really want to direct more. And though I'm enjoying in writing, it takes years and years of research and doing versions. So I'm now very curious receiving other people's scripts.
So you would be willing to work in another country, say in the English language, say the UK or the US, if you found the right script?
Yes, I'm really curious to learn.
Yeah, it would be an interesting experience. Thank you so much for your time and talking about this. And everyone I know thinks you're going to be nominated, and I can't wait for it to happen.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that we know each other since
Of course.
I was a student, and you were coming in Sarajevo watching for Sarajevo Film Festival. We were watching films together, talking about films. So for me, this is very, very special family interview.
Oh, thank you so much. I miss being able to come to Sarajevo and see you and hear about what you're doing. And I've followed your career from the beginning, and I'm just eager to see it go on, and give my best to Damir and the rest of the team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
well.
yeah, Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.